It's going to continue to change. And like I said, what we used to know is not going to be the same. Sony is eventually going to realize that they're leaving money on the table. And something, I've said this for years, something like Helldivers 2 is going to eventually launch on Xbox. It just is. It's a live service game. They want to make more money. They're going to launch it there. When it comes there, I'll buy it. Spider-Man 1, 2, and Miles Morales, it's sitting literally on a virtual shelf somewhere doing nothing, making not a single penny for Sony. If they made a triple pack for $70 and they dropped it on Xbox, they'd sell 10 million copies. Because Xbox gamers do in fact buy games. Not so much for PlayStation. That's just a fact. I don't have to reiterate the numbers. The numbers say that PlayStation gamers just don't buy as many games.
What? What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today we're going to go over your next dose of the Salty Batch files, and of course, as you've just seen from the opener here, we got some delusion galore, salt galore, you name it. They're having complete meltdowns due to the latest Xbox exclusives being announced, going to PlayStation, of course. And there's more Fallout to be had and other shenanigans to be had. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is have a little bit of a mix, some more Forza Fallout. I'm sure we'll have some more in some future videos as well as some just other delusional theories and processes that doesn't really line up. But let's start with our first one here. I don't think I've featured them all that much at all, but we do have Master Shake making their return, their elusive return. But this is just going to go hot off the heels in the last few videos in regards to why Xbox is where it's at, why Game Pass is hurting sales, and so on and so forth. So as you can see here, right, talking about Marvel Rivals, this is before apparently they knew it was even free to play, by the way, but here you go, right, talking about the global launch countdown, and then Master Shake chiming in, not playing unless it's on Game Pass. That's right, a free-to-play game. This is probably how delusional they are. They're probably not even touching it, even if it was free to play, which it is. At that point in time, they probably even knew it was free to play and was like, you know what? I'm not touching it unless it's part of that great Game Pass, the main course that is Game Pass. How amazing Game Pass is. I ain't touching even a free to play game because it's not there. I'm not getting special perks from battle passes and this, that, and the other. I ain't touching it. But he's not done there. Example number 2 here, we're talking about Death Stranding, right? Now available on Xbox Series XS and Windows PC, the announcement was, but Master Shake chiming in like he always does, being stupid, moronic, all that stuff. No Game Pass for this old-ass game. Skip. Channeling his inner Shannon Sharp. Skip. Just because a game is older, if it's not on Game Pass, they're going to skip it. So, again, the mentality, do we see the mentality here? It's just crazy. And then they sit there and whine and complain and moan and all that stuff. Why are these games rather heading to competitive platforms? Why is it not successful? No, it is. We're going to pretend it's successful because they're supporting it in their own way and not buying games. And this is what happened. And again, part of Phil's issue, part of Phil and company's issue, is the fact they relied so heavily on Game Pass and thought for sure they were going to get all those subs pretty quickly to compensate for those day one games, as well as additional third-party games on there. That's not the case. And people like Master Shake are, of course, harming that ecosystem. They've harmed it so much, that's where Xbox is at today, mainly third-party publisher. Now, folks, before we get to our next one here, I'm going to pop up a little infographic here, okay? Go ahead and take a look at this. Depicting Sega, Dreamcast, their route. Obviously, a little bit of hearsay from the Xbox side of things. It's not set in stone that they're going to go completely the way of Sega. But can you see the eerily similarities, if you will? It's pretty similar. And we've been stating this is the track that's happening. We've seen it with the faulty sales. Them not matching up to the Xbox One generation. That was the biggest red flag, aside from Phil and company not sharing those Game Pass sub numbers, so everybody knew whether or not they needed to help word of mouth spread, getting those Game Pass subs up or buying those games. Eerily similar, like I said. And we had people like Derek Strickland from Tweaktown or whatever it was, that outlet, as well as numerous others. You know, it's not fair to say they're going to be that of the route of Sega Genesis and how it happened and ended with the Dreamcast. Look, I know they stated they're going to come out with one more generation. We'll see if that even happens, what that hybrid looks like, what'll happen with that. And if it does, and if it doesn't move units, more than likely it's going to be its last. Or it's going to be a third-party developer for that and no one's going to care. It's going to be an offshoot. It is what it is, right? But just an interesting graphic I want to share with you real quick before spending too much time in dissecting that. Feel free to save that. Feel free to re-look at that because it's pretty telling, I think. So anyways, let's move on here. So we have Sixers Octavian here, right? Outer Worlds 2, Day 1. Indiana Jones a few months after release. Pentiment. HFR. Sea of Thieves, etc. It's time to accept it, brother. He's talking about Games Hero. And he's very delusional. And as you can see here, if Halo, Gears, or Forza, not all three, just one of these, one of the Trinity, go to PS5, then he accepts it. Oh, man. Well, I'm here to spoil this for you. I'm not going to show you any receipts on this, but as you can tell, no, spoiler alert, Games Hero does not, in fact, accept it. He is still holding the line. He is still defending everything under the umbrella of Xbox and is not accepting it completely. He's still holding strong. So unfortunately, they continue to lie. Hashtag, as it's been running on social media for quite a few months, if not a year now or more, all they do is lie. Hashtag, all they do is lie. And this is case in point right here. But as we move along here, I just wanted to share another thing from Clobril here, the enthusiast of Xbox, one of the other diehards of Xbox here. I just think this is a great, great statement to make, and I'll tell you why. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has reached 4 million players. Not even an exclamation mark, just a period at the end of this sentence, guys, because it is just a factual statement. This was made not that long ago, right? 1/29. Of this year. And wait, how do we break this down? Right? What does this mean? So here we are, damage controlling the salt, everything going on. By the way, guys, Indiana Jones, 4 million players. Congratulations. This is due to Game Pass. This isn't sales. This is due to Game Pass being available on the Xbox and being available on PC. This is not anything to write home about. Is it a complete and utter failure for players playing it? No. But if you were to dig a little bit further, which I'm not going to show the graphic or a screenshot right now at this, you can certainly do that if you don't believe me. But at the time of this recording, there's not a lot of completion rates on this Indiana Jones game. So people could have just fired up the start menu, the menu screen, whatever the case is, and that is counted as a player. So always keep that in mind. It's more telling for those that did buy. If they're going off of data, what bots? Who bots? Is there any microtransactions to buy, back that up to help make this a successful launch, and on and on and on, right? But nope. Damage control. Salt's out there. 4 million players, guys. So Xbox is saved. They're doing great in the business. They're doing just fine. Don't worry about their third-party publishing stance. We're good to go. We're good to go, folks. We are so good to go. That's fine. We're gonna go over something here as well. Now, this is a little bit of an older tweet as well, but I just have to bring this up. This is Kid Smooth making his return again, of course. And why I want to bring this up, right? As you can see, Xbox outsells PS5 in Japan again. All caps, again. Planet Xbox number 110 has a YouTube link via YouTube, all that stuff. And then underneath that, we have another example. Xbox outsold PlayStation in Japan again? Why am I bringing this up? Well, if anybody's been following Kid Smooth, if you haven't, hats off to you. I happen to come across, I don't follow him. His stuff just comes across my way. Right now, he's beating the drum. He's beating the drum. As far as sales don't matter. It never did matter. Why do we care about how many sales that consoles do? Why do we care about how many sales games do and consoles do? That's funny. Just a couple years ago, you seemed to care quite a bit because you thought, due to Colt Eastwood and Company, Fonz, you heard it here first. Xbox is slightly ahead of the PlayStation 5. Like, it's just ridiculous. So they went with this narrative. Sales mattered then, but hey, guys, they just grew up all of a sudden in a couple years, and now it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, guys. It only mattered a couple years ago. Not a big deal. Not a big problem, right? Not a big problem at all. Sure, keep that same energy. I understand people mature, grow, or change their outlook, but, when it's on a consistent basis, I'm not going to really believe you on that, and neither should anybody else, as we can see here. But let's get over to Jamie Moran. Jamie, don't feature him all the time, but today he likes to be part of stupid stuff. Oh, man, this guy, all things aside, his personality, people talk about my personality, whatever the case is. It's not fruitful enough for him. It's not extravagant enough for him, whatever the case is. This guy is like watching paint dry all the time, the way he interacts, all that stuff. But that's just a side point. Just wanted to point that out. Boring. Talk about boring. I'm just here to give the facts. I'm not here to put on a show. I'm not dancing around in a circus like Alex does, wearing banana suits. I do apologize. That's just not the case here. But anyways, as we continue going on, gaming. PS game goes to Switch and PC the same day. Silence. Xbox game goes to PlayStation 4 years later. Literal end of the universe. Jamie, it's funny you stick on that stance right there, because I promise you, it would be the end of the world for PlayStation fans or fanboys alike if God of War 2018 even ended up over on Xbox consoles simultaneously, or even 4 or 5 plus years later. That's a big deal. Forza is one of the holy trinities. Halo, Gears, Forza. Floodgates are now open. It's a huge deal. It is the end of an Xbox fanboys world. It truly is. So for you to kind of downplay that again, kind of like Derek Strickland from Tweaktown, right? Let's just downplay. It's not, you guys, it's not the same as Sega Dreamcast. They're not going down that route. They're not going down that road, that path, whatever you want to name it. It's not happening. Just relax. They're going to continue to do plenty of hardware. They're not going anywhere. Just because they're basically third-party publishers, they're not going anywhere. Don't worry. And Jamie here is saying, don't worry. It's not the end of the... Guys, it's not the end of the world. It's a 4-year-old game, so it's okay. It's okay. Is it okay that Indiana Jones is coming here in March to PlayStation? The rumors are stating there's going to be a lot of day and date, like the Gears remaster, Master Chief Collection coming over, but those are old games too, right? When things start to be day and date, like maybe Fable and stuff that's rumored to happen, if that happens, is that end of the world? When is it the end of the world, Jamie? Please divulge. Let us know. Would love to hear from you on that, by the way. So, they just can't stop talking in circles and trying to downplay the inevitable and not making it seem like it's a big deal. This is the problem. You have plenty of followers, Jamie, and many others. You continue to lie to the fan base. Either they latch on to the delusion and move it along to others and seem just that crazy, or they don't know any better because they're following your word because you have such a high following. That's a problem. So, let's move on from that idiot and finish up the last post before we get to a video here. But King David, of course, making his return, being the moron that he is. Xbox is the #1 publisher. I want to thank all who had a hand in the much-deserved success with an AI picture of a Sony apparent fan crying in front of their laptop or computer screen itself. I mean, again, I spoke on this in previous videos, right? Publisher wars aren't going to be a thing. I know I had some people try to argue in the comment section or even on social media that it is a thing. That's going forward. It is not a thing. Nobody's out there going like, guys, I'm an EA Sports fan, or I'm an EA fan in general. I'm a Ubisoft fan, guys. Huge Ubisoft fan. Yes, because we're all fanboys of a third-party publisher. We don't care because those games are on any platform we want to play. Hence, the Xbox first-party game is going to be on pretty much any platform that one would want to choose to play on. So there's no publisher war. The line should not be held at this point, David. This is end of the line. This is the end of the line. There is nothing to hold on to. There is no publisher war. As much as the fanboys out there, the delusionalists, the content creators, the frauds, the shills, it's not going to be a thing. No matter how much you try and spin it. Everybody's laughing in your face like, are you serious? Are you serious? No one's out there like, again, Ubisoft, right? Because I want to use Assassin's Creed as the example here. No one's out there going like, yeah, dude, Ubisoft's so much better than EA because I love Assassin's Creed. It's so much better than freaking Madden. Can you believe that? Madden and Anthem. What a failure Anthem was, guys. What the heck? This is so stupid. Nobody cares. If the games are available on all platforms, what was the console war was the platforms. What are we doing here? This is pathetic. But before we spend too much time on there, I have another video here I wanted to share with you. I've been holding in my pocket for a little bit because it needs to be addressed. I think this person is a POS, and that is Colt Eastwood. Yes, for what he says here, he encapsulates everybody that's a PlayStation fan into this video. But before I divulge too much into it, we have, unfortunately, bear with me, you have just quick couple snippets of Gaz and his nails on a chalkboard voice. And again, Colt is redundant as he is, right? So take a look at this here.
You guys are... I don't want to be super biased because I already am, but I think PlayStation fans have to be the most low rent,
yes,
low intelligence, dumbest, one-dimensional amoebas on the planet. Just a puddle of DNA oozing around and saying, PlayStation's here, Xbox is here. They just, I can't believe this stuff. And then they call me a dummy. They call me an artard. They call me all these names. And they just say all this stuff and say that I'm a liar and I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right. So as you can see here, there's a lot to unpack right there, right? He's obviously feeling the pressure of everything and the falling down of what Microsoft has become, what Xbox has become, and just blaming everything. And look, no shorter than the graphic here I'm going to show you. It's always PlayStation's fault. It's always the PlayStation fans or fanboys' fault, and why he's being called certain names, why he's being pressured, while he's being called out for the misinformation that he states all the time. He makes it seem like it's not his deal, like he's not part of the problem. But he's calling the fans and fanboys amoebas and just lowest scum of the earth, basically, right? I don't know what to take of that. I think it's low class. I think it's beneath most content creators, as low class as some of these content creators can be. I think it just speaks to his character. He's certainly a grifter as well. He has been for quite some time. But yeah, the thing is, for Colt, and if anybody shares this clip or whatever the case is, you have no one to blame but yourself. It's not you're just being a fan and you're just out there spreading the good word of Xbox. No one cares, or if they do in fact need to touch grass, because anybody can play where they want, how they want, when they want. Always said that. But still I have the folks coming at me, even though I've been as factual and fruitful in the truth as possible all the time. And I don't care where someone else plays. I'm just here to state the facts. The fact is, you continue to lie. You continue to spread misinformation, and you know why you do it, because you want the traffic, you want the grifting, you want the content. So don't act like these other people are the scum of the earth when you're reciprocating that type of energy yourself. Embarrassing. Pathetic. It's really bad. It's a horrible look, and I couldn't attach myself to either one of these, whether it be Gaz or Colt. I mean, just both misinformative, the hypocrisy in general. I was gonna say hypocritical again, but it's just the hypocrisy in general. It's just flabbergasting how they expect to act and how they expect to be treated by others when they put out the bull crap that they do all the time. It's always the bull crap that gets you. But I wanted to share that last piece of video. Like I said, I've been holding on to it for a bit. Really felt like it just needed to come out at this point in time, not hold on to it any longer, just for the fact that it's just really bad. It's bad. It's really bad. There's no other way around it. And so if anybody missed it out there, there's that video. Speaks to the character of both these folks because they're both in agreement. They both agree on the happenstance of things. And again, not good people, in my opinion. I really don't think so. So that being said, we'll wrap up the video here, folks. I really appreciate if you made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate that as well. That helps out the algorithm. In addition to that, also every like, every comment, would love to hear from you. And of course, additionally, those two things do help out the algorithm. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. We have seen a very high uptick as of recent too as well. So thank you all newcomers, those that have stayed from the beginning. Thank you all. Your support is absolutely amazing. So I appreciate you sticking around. And of course, always at the end of the day, just remember, just like everybody we featured here and then some, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.